guys, I'm Alex. Today I'll be doing Mia's makeup. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you like this video, please hit subscribe down below. And yeah, I hope you like this. Okay. Today I'll be doing Mia's makeup for, like, you know, your classic Thursday night out at the frats look. We're both in college at the University of Arizona, and I've seen a lot of like really inspiring makeup lately, like out at the frats, and like, yeah, that's not really what you're supposed to be looking at when you're out, but I'm me and that's what I do. So tonight I'm just gonna be doing something like a little different but kind of really fun, and hopefully something you can recreate when you're going out to party. So today I'll be priming her face with Farsali. I'm doing the Unicorn Essence. And these I have used literally to death. I'm obsessed with these. So it's perfect if you have oily skin like me or combo skin like Mia does. And also dry skin, because it really just has like such a nice finish underneath the makeup, and it's kind of like a glow within without making you look super oily, and you don't have to use a lot of the product. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. Like, yeah, it's pretty expensive, but it lasts for like forever. This is my first bottle and I've had it probably like over, I want to say 5 months. I'm not quite sure, don't quote me on that. But I'm like obsessed with the way it, first of all, does it smell like so good? No, it does. It smells it smells like cake or something. It's so good. And it just, you need to like give it like a second for it to like kind of get like tacky almost, but like it's great for your skin. It doesn't clog your pores, and it just gives you like this beautiful kind of like glow without looking like sheeny and like fake. Today I'll be going with my Dior Skin. This is Mia's color. This is Dior Skin Forever in number 15. So I'm just going in with my wet beauty blender. Obviously I dampened this off camera. And I'm just gonna pat this in. And so for me personally, like, I'm a full coverage hoe, but like I really like when makeup looks sort of natural and not like you're completely plastic. Like, yeah, that's the goal. You wanna look flawless, but at the same time, you want to almost look like you woke up like this, but put a little effort into it. Okay, full confessions, like before I shot this, I did my makeup, like before I came over, and I literally was like looking at myself in the mirror being like, now I'm gonna bounce with my beauty blender. Now that I'm done with the foundation, I'm gonna move on to concealer. And so one of my favorites, like other than Tarte Shape Tape, of course, is the NARS Creamy Concealer. So I have both colors in Creme Brulee and Cannelle. Don't come at me if that's not how you pronounce it. I'm sorry, I don't know how to speak other languages. So personally for me, like, I use this pretty much every day because I'm really pale, but when I get my spray tans, which is rare, but I do it, I use the Cannelle. So today, obviously I'm using Cannelle on Mia because she's like a tan goddess. So I'm just gonna do like the basic triangles, you know, starting in the inner corner and working my way out. And then of course you wanna highlight the center of the forehead, just slightly. Then down the bridge of the nose to give the effect that your nose is like pinched, and then a little bit on the chin, because you want the light to hit the center of your face and not the sides, because it actually gives you like a lot of dimension, and it makes you look like, I don't know, more like flawless and kind of like not only like symmetrical, but also just like you have like the smallest face on the planet, and obviously that's the goal for some reason. And I'm gonna take my beauty blender again and just pat this in. So now I'm going in with a little bit of the Creme Brulee color because it's lighter. And we just want like a spotlight effect without looking like a ghost. So that's what I'm doing right now. That's why I mixed both of them. Okay, so now that I've done the concealer, I'm gonna go in with my Laura Mercier setting powder, translucent, obviously. And okay, let's see if I can get this out actually, because it does not like me for some reason and will never come out. Okay, that should be good. Do you see what I'm talking about? Yeah. This is not okay. It just doesn't come out. Laura, you need to fix this. Okay, so now I'm going in with my damp beauty blender, just scooping up a little bit of this powder. I don't really like to overdo it with the baking because I feel like it makes you look like a little extra. I mean, we are going out, so I'll definitely like go in with like a decent amount, but I'm not gonna just like go for it and like make you look crazy. No tea or shade to whoever does this, because like props to you. I don't really have the balls for that. So you know what, you do you, and it's awesome either way, because there's really no wrong way to do makeup, you know? People always talk about like rules for makeup or like what they learned at the MAC counter, and honestly, like, yeah, you can learn a lot of cool tips and like things that people prefer, but at the end of the day, like, makeup is art, and there are no rules to art, and like there's no way you can like take a creative person and like kind of put them in a box, because people don't thrive that way. And like I feel like society has kind of like showed us that like you have to do things a certain way, you have to look a certain way, you have to act a certain way, and it's like why does it have to be that way, you know? Like there's so like not a point to that, and I feel like fighting that as much as you can will only make you stronger and make you thrive in the environment that we have like lived in and some of us have grown up in. So that's how I see makeup. It's just like a way to express yourself without like any boundaries at all, and that's why I love it. I'm gonna set the rest of the face with my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Compact, just so we can use the rest of the powder products without it looking super like, I don't know, cakey or like bunchy. You know, like when makeup gets like, it gets stuck in one place and it does not look like you blended at all, no matter how long you blend for. I hate that. And like this compact is honestly one of my favorites. I saw this the first time when I was watching Jeffree Star, actually. And like he was honestly like I think he was like the 4th makeup YouTuber I ever really saw, like beauty guru here on YouTube. And he was just so inspiring because he honestly doesn't care. Like he doesn't give a shit about what anyone thinks. And I'm like, wow, I really want to get to that level. Okay, so now I also dusted off the bake. Didn't mention that. So now I'm going into my Kat Von D palette. It is very loved. It's a mess. This is just missing altogether. I honestly could not tell you what happened. But I'm going into the Shade Light Contour palette. I'm using this shade because it's a little like, it's on the gray side, but it's not like super gray, and I'm also mixing it with this yellow tone lighter. So with this brush, this is my Morphe R3. The other one I just used was my Hourglass O2 powder brush. And so with this, I'm just lightly tracing the outline of her cheekbone, because I like to give myself like the deepest point of your cheekbone is the darkest place you put it. You don't want to do like a big line of just dark because it doesn't look real and it looks like you don't know how to blend. And I like to think I know how to blend, so we're just gonna see how this goes. So you always want to like bring it up into the hairline because you want it to look like it's just part of your face. I'm mixing these two. And you don't want to bring it down too low because you don't want like a Joker smile. But I looked insane because I didn't know what flashback was. I didn't know that you can't bring your contour all the way down to your mouth. I don't know why I didn't know that. I feel like it's obvious because you don't have cheekbones that go to your lips. Okay, so now I'm just, I'm outlining her jawbone and accentuating her natural jawline because she's got a great one and it looks really good. Thank you. You're welcome. So now I'm actually going in to my, okay, this is my Becca Sunlit Bronzer in Capri Coast. But so anyway, so I'm going in with my e.l.f. 101 brush. This is actually from their new line. They just released it in CVS and like probably drugstores all around the country. I want to say like a month ago, maybe sooner, I'm not quite sure, but I love this brush. It's so soft and like the bristles are so nice and it just blends out. I'm seriously so impressed by this brush because I have personally never enjoyed a single e.l.f. thing I've ever tried. And like, not to throw shade at drugstore companies because there are some that are like amazing, like Wet n Wild. Like I'm gonna use this highlight on her later. It's one of my favorite highlighters I have and it's just, it's so beautiful. But I never really liked any e.l.f. products, and so finding this brush was like such a risk for me because I was like, do I buy this? Like I'm a broke college kid, do I buy this? And I was like, you know what, I might as well just try it, and I did, and I fell in love with it. And now I'm going in with my Tarte Amazonian Clay blush in Seduce with my Morphe MB5. So I'm just gonna lightly blush her cheeks because you don't want too much because like you're gonna be hot. Like when you're out at the frats or like at a bar or anything like that, like you're going to be warm and you're going to, you know, kind of like show your natural blush like through your foundation no matter how full coverage it is. Like you're gonna get oily, you're going to get warm, and you're gonna be red. And so like you don't want too much blush because then you just kind of look like a clown, and that's really scary and nobody wants to see that. So, no one wants to see that. Yeah, not at all. So now I'm going in with my Fenty Beauty highlighting brush 120. And I'm actually going to combine my Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighting powder in Blossom Glow, and I'm going to combine my Stila, this is Heaven's Hue highlighter. It's actually one of the putty highlighters, and like I think this is so cool because you can like press it in and like completely destroy it, and then it's fine, and you just rub it out, and it's great. There you go.
Going back to the clown thing, I like, before I even started venturing into makeup, I remember reading books about girls saying how they like got into the mom's makeup before going to school and how embarrassed they were because they looked like a clown because they overdid it with the blush.
Okay, can I tell you something?
What?
That was me as a kid. Like, I was always in my mom's bathroom, like always looking around and like looking at things. I actually broke one of her like really expensive perfumes when I was little.
Oh my god.
And I ran downstairs because she has her computer in our kitchen, and I ran downstairs and I was like, Mom, you can get mad at me, you can spank me, I'm so sorry. And she was like, what happened? And I walked upstairs, and we had a brown carpet at the time, like light brown, and there was just like a dark brown stain of this perfume in the carpeting, and it was her favorite perfume. I actually love this perfume. It's called I think it's a Juliet Has a Gun. I think that's what it's called. But it's like, it's such a good perfume, and I dropped it all and I was a mess. But I would always experiment with my mom, and so like I would always like go into her room and like put on like the brightest red lipstick I could find and like the most neon blue eyeshadow, and I looked like a stripper gypsy, honestly. Like, and I would like walk around, and we would go into Sephora, which was like my favorite place on this planet. It still is. And, like, who am I kidding?
Yeah, right.
But I would go in and I would just get so excited, and I would want like all the brightest colors. I would want like neon orange eyeshadow and like bright green lipstick. And at the time, like I was probably like 6, 7, 8, you know, like through that like age.
Yeah.
And they didn't really have a lot of stuff like that. Like they obviously carried it in stores, but it wasn't like the biggest thing, because I feel like colors are really making a comeback now.
Yeah.
Like, with the Fenty line especially, like all those lipsticks, Rihanna did such a good job. Like Rihanna can't do anything wrong. Okay, so now that we're done with the face, I had to run and grab my setting sprays, because these are 2 of my favorites actually. So a lot of people say that Fix Plus is like better with like foiled eyeshadows to like bring out the color and like enhance the entire like sparkle of it. But I honestly like it as its like original purpose, as well as like using it on shadows. I like it to set the face, but it's so good, and like everyone loves it. And like, yeah, all these like brilliant companies like Morphe and everyone has like come out with these like gorgeous setting sprays, but it's like, this is just such a classic, and I love it. So I'm actually gonna spray my beauty blender with this, and just kind of like coat it on the outside and then pat it into where the highlighter is. And do you get oily in your T-zone?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do here as well. So I'm gonna do this, and then I'm actually gonna go in with some Laura Mercier powder, because I feel like if we double set that area, you probably won't get as sweaty tonight. Okay. Or like oily, not sweaty, oh my gosh. Girls don't sweat, we glow. And I'm gonna go in with a little bit, if I can get it out. Yeah, there we go. Okay, with the Laura Mercier. Just in this area. We don't want to cover up the highlight or the blush or anything like that. We just want it in like the pore areas. Like everybody has pores obviously, and like they mostly, not for everyone, but like they're usually around this area. So like that's what we're gonna try to do with this without like taking away from the glow or anything like that. So I'm gonna let that sit while I do your eyes. So okay, so that fell. So today I'm thinking, since it was just Valentine's Day, I'm thinking of using like a little bit of red and orange. I'm actually gonna dip into a few palettes today. I have my Modern Renaissance that is very loved. Like, it is legitimately destroyed. I don't know what happened to this. But first I'm gonna set your eyes, or prime your eyes. So I'm just gonna use the NARS Creamy Concealer one more time. I would not really suggest not priming. Like, if you have a concealer or like an eyelid primer, like an eyeshadow primer itself, I would definitely always recommend that, because they're great and they really do their jobs. But if you don't, like, you can go a few hours without having an eyelid primer or an eyeshadow primer, but like it's not the best thing to do. But especially, another thing fell. Especially if you have like a night out and you know you're gonna be dancing or in like a warm place or like doing a lot, you always want to set your eyes. So now I'm dipping into Tempura just to set the primer that I just put on her lid. I just go in with like a neutral color, because you want it to look like, I want to say like slightly lighter than your skin tone, because that's the best thing to do. But if it is your skin tone or a little bit darker, like that's okay too. You just want it to look like neutral and open your eyes. So, okay, now that that's done, I'm going to go in with a transition shade. I'm going to use Burnt Orange today, because we want to do like an orangey kind of like golden pinky look. That's our transition shade. So now I'm going to go into this Love Letter color. I think this is beautiful. At first, when I first got this palette, I loved the Venetian red, but I realized like this has is pinker and it's like really cute and it complements like most skin tones and eye colors like really beautifully. So that's what I'm gonna dip into for her. This is actually my first time ever doing Mia's makeup. I'm so excited to be doing this. This is like so much fun for me. Mia and I are actually in the same sorority. She's my grand big. My big Bailey is actually helping me start this channel and she's like the sweetest girl ever. I'm obsessed with these girls. They are amazing. Now I'm going in with my M160, my Morphe brush, and I'm gonna dip into Primavera, which this is like a really pretty like golden shade. It's kind of low key, but you can really amp it up with the Fix Plus, which was what I was talking about before. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, so the eyes are done, and for our last step, I'm gonna be applying a lipstick. I'm thinking something, I mean, it is Valentine's Day, so I was thinking of going into my Kylie lip kit. This is from the Coco collab, and this is the color Gorge. Okay, so first though, before I do that, I'm gonna go in with one of my favorite lip liners. It is, where is it? Okay, it's my MAC Trust in Red. I love this. This is the like one of the long wear lip liners, and it honestly, it wears. It really does. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm gonna go in with my liquid lip. I'm gonna spray you one more time with Fix Plus.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna take my beauty blender and just pat in all the little droplets so they really sink into the skin and don't sit on top and mess up the foundation. Okay. That is our final look. So if you liked this video, please subscribe down below and I'll see you next week for a new video. Bye.